Hi everyone! I've just realised as I stand here I've got a really good example of like light coming in from one side and shadow on the other, just like down my face, and that's really apt because today we are looking at all the different ways that you can add shadow to a painting, because I am a big fan of adding a sweep of that kind of glaze of shadow at the end of every painting. It just really makes it come to life. But what I've found over the years is it's not always about one colour, one sort of grey, browny blue. It can sometimes be, well, you're going to find out in the tutorial. I can't give it all away now. So grab your paints and let's get started. I've started off with a very simple Clementine, just like the one we painted last week, although it's even simpler. It's just a wash of cadmium orange, and then the leaf is just a wash of green gold. But it's all about different ways of adding shadow. Now, so often in my tutorials, I reach for the Payne's Grey and slap that on in a glaze, and it's always fantastic. But however, sometimes you feel like maybe you need to add in a little bit of the colour of the subject matter, the light source, the shade source might be affected by something else. So I'm going to show you 4 really simple options of ways that you can paint shadow. So Payne's Grey is going to be one of them. I'm going to call it the blue tone. So if I just write blue here, I'll do a little swatch of it. And essentially that is a really sort of classic shadow tone where the blue, cool light, it's kind of a classic, so it's a good one to start off with. So if I do a little example, I'll sort of sweep a bit under the Satsuma Clementine, whatever. And I'm just going to sort of soften that in like that, but also I've done a little leaf and things, a little bit of shade there and a little bit of shade just under it there, but also because we have got a bit of texture on this Satsuma. Okay, so there is our blue tone. What about the other dark colour in the palette? What about black? Normally I say no, it's not the colour you want to use, but actually it can be really effective. So let's try a little black swatch as well, because we want to try these things. I mean, I probably end up using something akin to this black because quite often I use sort of brown mixed into my blue a little bit. So it does end up coming up so you can see that subtle difference there, but they both work in their own way. Okay, so the next one I want to talk about is something called analogous colours. Now that means you have orange and you use the colour either side of it on the colour wheel to create the shadow. So I have a handy colour wheel I've painted in the past before. So of course we've got orange here, and therefore we use the colours either side. Well, the yellow is not going to do much, but red tones are going to create a bit of a difference. And that is very similar to the glazing tutorial I did last week. Now I've got Pyrrol orange here, which is a lovely red kind of tone. We've also got cadmium orange, cadmium red, I beg your pardon, and also alizarin crimson. So all of these colours you would refer to as analogous colours for cadmium orange. So let's just do a little swatch of these. And I definitely enjoy using analogous colours to create shadow every now and then, because you just know it's going to look, it's going to not only sort of create a sense of darkness on the piece, but it's going to really help make the piece just seem a bit more rounded. So if I start with Pyrrole Orange, it's like, cool, that's nice. It's almost less of a shadow, more of a just extra colour to help it feel quite vibrant, exactly like a glaze. Well, it is a glaze. It's not like a glaze, it is a glaze. If I add in some red, I mean, this will be more of a layered up wash because it's still a little bit wet. Just clean my brush off a bit. Now you'll notice that I'm not actually using any shadow up the stem for this, because I'm looking at the analogous colours of the Clementine, which is the orange. If I was doing the leaf, then I would do it with blue tones, which we've kind of already done. And finally, this one. What are we going to do for this one? Well, I have talked in the past about how a complementary colour is the perfect way to mute your colour down to create a lovely autumnal colour palette, while it also works to mute it down to make a nice shade colour. So let's have a look. We've got across the colour wheel from orange, we're going into blue. Now we've already looked at blue in terms of Payne's grey, but I'm talking about blue, like these kinds of blues. So let's have a go. I think let's try French ultramarine blue, because that's much more blue than Payne's grey. And I promise you, I haven't just chosen to do orange so that I knew blue would be its complementary colour to make a nice shadow tone. It really does work on any colour. Take pinky red and green. Trying to think of any more ones. Yellow and purple. And what's fascinating is, if you close in on there, you see there's that tiny little bit that still looks quite blue. Well, that is because that was a little bit of unpainted space, but the rest has turned into this beautiful shadow tone, so you can see that it works really, really nicely. Whoops, there we go. So that is your quick fix for today. It's just a really nice little exercise in trying something a little bit different when it comes to adding shadow to your paintings. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to the channel to make sure you never miss another video. And we'll be adding this to the Watercolour Painting for Beginners playlist, which has all our basic technique and sort of lots of people ask me about my palette, so it's got all the videos about when I've changed the colours in my palette, cleaned those up, the colour wheel, all that kind of stuff. Find it in Watercolour Painting for Beginners playlist. Okay, have a great week and I'll see you soon. Bye!